I'm sure most of us have heard the saying, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I'm sure most of us have at least at some point have tried to make our dreams come true. But what happens when your dream also becomes your nightmare? What's going on, big dogs? SG Leo here, and in today's video, we will be going over why so many major YouTubers have been taking very extended breaks or just completely calling it quits altogether. So sit back, relax, and let's dig into this. Alright everyone, before we get started, I am obligated by the lords of YouTube to ask y'all to please leave a like and of course subscribe if you are enjoying the content. It really helps the channel and will really help with the algorithm. Thank you to everyone who decides to join. Alright, so big YouTubers leaving the site really isn't anything new. We've seen people like Smosh or Ray William Johnson and even PewDiePie taking long extended breaks or again just leaving the site altogether. And recently, we've been seeing even more influencers call it a career, with the biggest name being the man who took over Fortnite from Ninja, that of course being TFUE, which is honestly where I got the idea for this video. TFUE has been around for years at this point, and has grinded out basically every popular game you can imagine. He pushed out content as well as anyone else, and after years of hard work, he eventually became one of the biggest names not only in Fortnite, but in almost any game he picked up, his audience would follow, at least for a while. You see, there's a very clear pattern when it comes to the rise and fall of people like TFUE. Usually a streamer or gamer will play anything and everything in order to try and stay on top of the trends, and give themselves the best chance of getting a break and making this their career. The downside of this, which leads to the inevitable downfall of a lot of these influencers, is that when people start to associate you with a specific game or topic, that is what they become to expect from you. TFUE got his big break in Fortnite after killing the top dog at the time, Ninja, in a 1v1 battle. TFUE already had a fairly decent following, but this would skyrocket him into the mainstream. After getting his name into the spotlight, TFUE would eventually sign with an esports juggernaut, FaZe Clan, and would become a household name overnight. He eventually started seeing issues when he'd play anything other than Fortnite. Even though his numbers definitely weren't bad by any means, it was clear people mainly came to TFUE for his Fortnite gameplay, which is what led TFUE to taking his break. See, what people don't seem to realize is that even playing video games for a living can become nothing more than a job. And many of these streamers and gamers can become stuck with only being able to play or enjoy or act like they enjoy one game that people associate them with. And for TFUE, that ended up becoming Fortnite. And this is where the main culprit comes in, and that, of course, is burnout. You see, burnout, for those of you who don't know, is basically the process of you having to do the exact same routine or do something at least mildly similar over and over and over again, and eventually you become worn out, drained, exhausted, if you will, from doing that same thing over and over again. And that's what happened to our good friend TFUE. So, like I stated, TFUE got popular off of a few major clips from Fortnite that kind of skyrocketed him into mainstream success. He signed with FaZe, he was doing all these brand deals, he was becoming a major face in the streaming and gaming industry. He attended tournaments, he won tournaments, he was dominant, especially with his partner Cloaksy, and won a ton of Fortnite tournaments. The downside to this is that was all anybody really cared to see from him. He tried branching out into other games, like Apex Legends, Warzone, things like that, and sure, for a while his audience would come and tune in, but TFUE never really had the personality to keep people coming back for more and more content. And there were already other people in those games that were better than TFUE who did have the personality. The TSM team for Apex Legends, Nick Merckx was also and still is also a major Apex Legends streamer. Not to mention that he and Tim the Tatman and Dr. Disrespect are some of the best personalities on the internet, and they are constantly playing Warzone and taking up plenty of the viewers over there. And then to top it all off, Shroud came back to Twitch and has basically taken over every other aspect of Twitch. So it was really hard for TFUE to kind of find his footing in any other game other than Fortnite, and it quickly became obvious that that was all he was ever going to be able to do. If he wanted to branch out, he was going to have to take a hit. He was going to have to lose income. He was going to have to he was basically either going to have to completely rebrand his channel, or he was just going to have to stick it out and continue to stream Fortnite, which is basically what he did for a while. He continued to play Fortnite, upload Fortnite, anything and everything about Fortnite. He was running along with the trends, just trying to stay relevant in the scene. And after a while, which just happened this last week, He finally decided that he'd had enough, and he's calling it quits. Now, he did say in his statement that it might not be a permanent leave. He might be back in a week, a month, a year, who knows? He could be back at any point. But I think it's important to not underestimate burnout and the effect that it's been having on a lot of these streamers and content producers, right? I mentioned people like PewDiePie and how he's taken leaves in the past. PewDiePie has basically rebranded his channel 3 or 4 different times, going from playing games and horror games to having more skit-like stuff with his wife or his fiance at the time and his dogs, and then it switched into more vlog-style things. Then he started doing more like Reddit reviews and meme reviews, and he basically does whatever he wants because people come to PewDiePie not because of his original gameplay, but because of his personality. PewDiePie's personality is so funny and so entertaining that he can basically do what he wants and he's going to get views. He's going to get clicks. He's going to get people to pay attention to what he does. TFUE, on the other hand, and people like Ninja, to some extent, I would even say Shroud, they're not as overly entertaining when it comes to their personality. They're much more bland people who kind of have their set line of jokes that they're able to make, and that's really about it. They kind of rely a lot more on their skill in the game than they do the entertainment aspect, where you have people like Tim the Tatman who require people to focus on their personalities a lot more than their gameplay. But if you're like Tim the Tatman and can spin it to where you being the dolt of the group and always messing up stuff for your team into kind of a funny, trendy type of humor, go for it. But basically what I'm getting at is TFUE just didn't have the personality to keep up with the rest of the guys. Now, he can try to pull a PewDiePie and rebrand his entire channel. He can try to play other games and do other things like that, and I'm sure he would eventually find success. The guy is incredible at every game he picks up. He does extremely well. He learns really quick. He adapts very well. I don't see him not being able to ever come back to this as a career, but I think it's just important to bring to light of how we as consumers of this product, of YouTube, of Twitch, streaming, it's important to understand that, yes, this is their job, and anybody who does streaming as YouTube as a job is extremely lucky and should consider themselves to be extremely lucky and blessed that they're able to basically set their own schedule and do what they wish and make buttloads of money doing it. But it's also important to understand that just like us, those of us who have to go to work and do the same task over and over again, it can become the same problem for them. So when you see your favorite influencer or streamer or anything like that trying to pick up a new game, trying to test the waters with a new type of content, leave a comment, leave a like, give your input on those type of things instead of just completely clicking away or not giving it a shot at all, because that seems to be what happens to a lot of influencers like TFUE. They try to branch out and do something a little different to try to keep their head in the game, basically, and keep trucking forward when it comes to content. And we as consumers say, what the hell are you doing? That's not what we asked for. You see, I like to think of YouTube and social media and stuff almost like a fast food restaurant. A better term to use would be as like the food industry as a whole. So you have your content creators who are like McDonald's, Subway, Burger King. They're fast food influencers. They do trendy topics. They kind of get big here and there from time to time, and eventually they're able to make a somewhat small, decent career out of it. Is it the greatest content in the world? No. Are you going to deal with it? Yeah, whatever. It's a quick little fun, quick video or something like that. And then you have the big mainstays, the people that you sit down and you enjoy every day if you could, right? You have the people like PewDiePie. You have the people like Mr. Beast. All these influencers with tens of millions of subscribers who every day kind of up the ante for what content should look like and how content should be and how it should be edited, produced, all that type of stuff. And sadly, TFUE kind of ended up falling into the fast food, quick pickup type of content where really people only came to him because he has a Big Mac and they wanted a Big Mac that day. But anyways, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, remember, please leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this whole TFUE thing down below and what you think of other streamers and YouTubers who are leaving the scene. It's been a big mess over the last couple of years. So many people have been leaving the scene, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see, but of course, all good things do have to come to an end. So again, guys, thank you all for your time. I really appreciate it. And until the next video, guys, Godspeed.